Hello my friends and welcome back once again. My name is Jordan, also known as J-Monster, and you're watching my second matchup between myself and Axis Sunsor 15. And I am playing as the Silvan Elves, and he is playing as the High Elves. So we have a battle for the ages going on here. I was so excited when I saw that he chose the High Elves. I mean, I knew it was going to be a tough fight, and it is, but I was excited for a new kinslaying. I know that's terrible, but whatever. So what I'm doing here is I'm moving my archers forward. I know that Silvan archers but they outstrip the Eldar archers in terms of range, even if only slightly. So I'm going to be able to start taking some pot shots at his archers pretty soon. And my opponent forgets to put them into loose formation initially, anyway. So his first unit of Eldar archers here is going to take some pretty bad casualties. So I'm just moving up my archers. I'm going to move up my infantry body to support him. I've brought a fair amount of anti-cav units. I've got 4 units of woodland warriors who are both anti-cav and armor piercing. So they're going to be very useful against the large amounts of heavy infantry that he has. At least that's the plan. But also, hopefully a decent counter to his large amounts of cav. He's got 2 units of Eldar Inway cav and 2 units of AdmiralThrawn riders who are skirmishers. They're actually really good, and he's going to use them to great effect in this battle, as you will see. There's a little bit of lag going on. It looks like there's a bit of a frame rate issue, but it's not actually a frame rate. It's just something that happens when I host battles. They tend to have this problem, and Era was having problems with his internet anyway. So, but yeah, I've got 4 units of Woodland Warriors who are powerful against Cav, and I've also got a couple units of Silvan Spearmen. I know that no Cav is a big disadvantage to me, so I'm trying to minimize that as much as I can. As you can see here, yeah, his troops are all bunched up. It's going to play against him in the long run, just because I have so many archers, and his troops are all in a nice tight formation, which makes them prime targets. He's actually outnumbered. He probably has more upgrades than I do, and High Elven units are more expensive than Silvan ones anyway. So he's got more upgrades, but I've got more in terms of kind of bulk firepower. So right here, he's taking a unit of Eldar Inway towards my archers, and seeing this, I'm going to try and move my Silvan Spearmen into the way to prevent him from being able to just get a huge charge off on these guys. So he sees this, he's going to run away. I want to keep fighting. I'm fairly confident in my ability because to stop this cav charge and to destroy this unit, just because I have so many units in the area. I've got a unit of spearmen that are shadowing him already, and he's moving in some of his archers here on the side. I don't really have an answer to that right now, just because I don't have enough units that are available right now. I'm trying to take down this unit of Eldar archers. All my archers are busy trying to shoot them. As you can see, they've taken a little bit of casualties on the charge in, probably about well over 10. Some pretty terrible casualties right there. So I've moved up another unit of spearmen to engage these lancers, and they're going to rout pretty quick. I'm still moving. I didn't see that those are skirmishers initially, so I was moving some infantry up to counter them. Little did I realize that they were archer cav, and they were going to make the lives of my infantry quite miserable. As you can see here, I am taking some rain casualties, actually quite bad in that one unit of woodland warriors. They're getting shot point blank, and it's pretty bad for them. But I did manage to rout that one unit of Eldar Inway archers, so I'm going to shoot into the backs of them. I don't want them to come back, but they do eventually, unfortunately. So I have peeled off some troops here, but I did leave some in the area. I left them to walk. So yeah, as you can see, the unit of Eldar Inway have turned around and they've come back. Oops. Bit of a wrong key on my part. So I'm gonna keep shooting at them. I have still got some units in the area, so I'm gonna countercharge them. These guys are right in the way, so he's not actually gonna get to my archers. Not really. A couple of units might get through, but nothing too terrible. So I've got a unit of spearmen and I've got a unit of woodland warriors in there. So those Eldar Inway are gonna be, these lancers here are gonna be completely destroyed. But right now he is flanking my units quite well. He's shooting into the backs of my swordsmen and taking shots at my infantry, and I really don't have an answer to this aside from my archers, so I have to keep constantly shifting my archers' fire in order to counter his movements. But he's got his horsemen in loose formation, so it's gonna be pretty difficult to hit them. So it looks like he's moving his infantry forward now. So I see this, and I'm gonna take a large portion of my main infantry line, and I'm gonna move them up. I do leave a number of them on my left flank or my right flank here, just because I know that there's a cavalry menace being posed by these guys, and I know he's got another unit of Eldarinway Lancers in there somewhere, so I'm going to need them to. I'm going to need them in that position to support both my archers and my infantry line in case he tries to outflank me. So I'm redirecting my archers' fire here. I'm trying to take some shots at some of his softer targets, the Eldarinway swordsmen in particular, just because they don't have shields, and also at his Smiths of Eredin, because they are so very deadly, and I just I really want to deal some damage to them before they manage to get in to combat with my troops. But he has charged my general's unit here. He's been pretty wise with his cav. I noticed that, like, I saw that they had been charged, but I noticed that they were doing just fine and not taking massive casualties. So I just leave them as they are. I don't really do a whole lot with them. He's got 3 units of Mithlon nobles who are in the fray right now. He hasn't sent his units all together. He's sending them in waves, and I presume that he's doing that because he wants to either tire my troops out or see what I'm going to do with my own infantry before he makes a move, which is good. But unfortunately, it's resulting in the few units that he did send in to end up being surrounded. So that's not very good for them. These Smiths of Eredin here, we've managed to deal a few casualties to them with our archers, but they are just so heavily armored that it's really not worth the time. So I'm gonna move my archers' fire off of them and redirect it onto some of his other units here. Yeah, his archers here. I'm focus firing them 1 unit at a time because I want to wipe them out quickly. But yeah, they're dealing some pretty horrible casualties here. I'm moving these guys in such a way that they should have their shields facing these archers over here, as well as the archers on my flank, so they're not going to get shot in the rear, and they're going to be able to benefit from their shield bonus. So it looks like we've managed to run into his units of his Smiths of Eredin here. We've dealt a decent amount of casualties to them, but yeah, they're kicking the crap out of our woodland warriors. You can see they're taking some pretty bad casualties. So I'm going to move another unit of I believe they are swordsmen in there to support those woodland warriors. And at this point, he has directed his archer fire onto my infantry lines. He's trying to thin on my infantry lines because he sees that it's not going well for him, I think. But unfortunately, that leaves my archers wide open to continue to shoot his troops. And yeah, it's just helping me maintain my range supremacy at this point in the game. It looks like, yeah, he's bringing in another unit of Eldarinway Lancers, and I see this, and I'm thinking that my units are numerous enough that even on the charge, there should be enough left to deal some serious damage to his Eldar Lancers. So I'm going to put my Spearmen in skill trauma, and I'm going to countercharge with my 2 units of Woodland Warriors, my most numerous units of Woodland Warriors. But unfortunately, once these lines clash, yeah, you're going to see it here, they're just going to run right over my heavy troops here. Unfortunately, yeah, they're devastating on the charge. There's really not a lot I can do here. It looks like he managed to charge my general unit again with more of his light cavalry. It looks like my general went down, but shortly thereafter, his went down. So I'm extremely amused by that. I think that's kind of excellent. But if his general was still alive, I mean, who knows what could have happened, right? I mean, I've probably taken a huge morale hit at this point. The only reason my army's still standing in the field is because Elven morale is very hard to break. Yeah, so I see him pulling out his cavalry unit there, probably to countercharge my units again. I know that my units on my right flank can't take too many more charges like that, so I'm going to shoot my archers into the back of him. And he's got a very large body of infantry in his center that my spearmen are managing to hold the line against, thankfully. Yeah, that's his general unit that his Imladris Riders unit that had his general unit that's now routed off the field, and they're going to rout pretty close to my spearmen. I don't think I actually get any of them, though. Bit of a micro mistake here on the part of my opponent. He moved his horsemen out of there, but he forgot about them and left them with their backs exposed to me, so I took advantage of this and I started shooting the crap out of them with as many of my archers as I could spare. How are we doing here? It looks like we managed to... The combined forces of my Woodland Warriors and my Swordsmen have managed to vanquish the Smiths of Eredin, so that's a pretty big loss for him. Those are some of his best heavy infantry, I think. And at this point, my focus firing has really paid off. I'm wiping out his units of archers, and I've managed to maintain really nice supremacy in terms of range at this point. So at this point, I think this is the fairly decisive moment once he forgot about his cav on that side there, because they could have wreaked some serious havoc behind my lines. They could have just run over my archers. I don't have enough infantry left to really stop them, and my general's gone. So who knows what would have happened if my opponent hadn't made that one mistake there. I think he might have actually beaten me. But yeah, he's noticed that they're being shot up. But by now it's too late. They've taken so many casualties. So we're gonna have some lag problems here. I apologize for this. It was a combination of bad things. I mean, my internet's not great. His internet isn't great. But it won't take very long. I promise. It'll be gone soon. Yeah, see, there you go. And yeah, he's gonna finally charge his unit in. But at this point, there's 8 of them left, and I think 3 of them are gonna go down in the charge. Or 5 of them are gonna go down in the charge. 8 does manage to clip my Sindar unit. He'll take a couple of them down, but they're dead. Yeah, there's no strength left in that unit anymore. So he rushed in a unit of Eldar Rinway swordsmen on the flank to support his infantry, to support his Smiths of Eredin. But at this point, we're just, except for this one part in the center, which you can see there, where we're crushing him. His Eldar Rinway swordsmen are almost gone. They're shaken. And yeah, he's really got nothing left on that side that poses a threat, except for some extremely depleted archer units. And my units are still, there's a couple of them that are almost full strength. So at this point, the match is pretty much over. My opponent is very brave. He's going to fight right to the end. All of his troops are going to fight just right to the very end. Most of the units will be wiped out before they start to flee. So yeah, I've finished with those units on my right flank near the center, and I'm going to start moving my units around to fully envelop his infantry blob in the middle. Yeah, it's not much. Yeah, these Eldar Rinway swordsmen are going to run off the field pretty quickly. There's not very many of them left. Most of the unit has been destroyed. Yeah, you can see my spearmen charging into the backs of his beleaguered infantry line in the center there. A little bit of smack talk going on here. Vengeance for Alqualande. Alqualande was a massacre perpetrated by the Noldor against the Teleri, the kinsmen of the Silvan Elves at the time. So a little bit of poetic justice here. The Noldor are getting their just desserts here in the second kinslaying. So at this point, I see there's no point in continuing to try and kill like the 5 units that he had, or like the 5 individuals in his Eldar Rinway archer units that are remaining to him. So I'm just going to rush all my archers in, and we're just going to engage his troops in melee combat. Except for these 2 over there. I mean, there's a reasonably sizable amount of troops there. Yeah, so I'm going to charge those guys. I'm going to try and rout them off the field, because I know there's so few of them, so once my guys get close enough and get into melee, they won't last very long. I'm going to get my general unit involved in the combat as well. They're hungry for blood. They want to avenge their commander's fall, their failure to protect him. So, I'm not too sure what I'm doing here. Yeah, I'm just moving units very, very slowly towards his archers over there. And his infantry in the center is slowly being beaten down. Here we go. Yeah, it looks like those Eldar Rinway have routed before we even got to them, just as I thought they would. What do we got here? Yeah, it looks like some of his heavy elven units in the center here are beginning to rout just because they don't like being surrounded and having their general killed and most of their army vanquished. So I'm going to take those guys, and instead of using them to surround the units in the center, I'm going to go chase these guys down. There's not very many of them at this point. There's like 14. Yeah, practically nobody. Yeah, one of them goes down, got hit in the face. Oh my god. Right between his little Corinthian helmet. It's a nice shot on the part of our archers. Anyway, so at this point, it's just a matter of time. It's just slowly his units in the center are beginning to fall apart. And that's our observer over there. That's Arrow in the Knee, who you will recognize from some of the other episodes. He's hanging out. He's having fun. Just watching this massacre be perpetrated against the Noldor. And it looks like some of them have broken here. Some of the spearmen have been crushed and they're running away. These guys are on the brink of routing. We just have to get in there. Charge! Excellent. Oh, that's beautiful. So some of our Sindar archers are going to go down, but mostly these Noldor are going to fall apart pretty quickly. Yeah, I saw one of our Cinder archers die. Sad. And these guys are fighting to the death. We are... Normally I would just, like, move some troops out of the way and just let them rout, but this is an epic last stand, and it's too cool to interrupt, so... Yeah, some Elder Enemy swordsmen, just elements of swordsmen and spearmen units here are being defeated. Oh, we can see one of them going down. Oh, he's gonna get his head cut off. Watch this. Oh, that's terrible. So there you are, everybody. That is the kinslaying. The second, or no, this would be like the fourth kinslaying in revenge for the slaying at Alqualonde and the end of my second tournament battle. So it's a good game to access Sunroar. If a few things had gone differently, this could have been a completely different result, and we would have been going into round 3. So great game to him. Yeah, and I wish him the best. I hope I get to face him again in the 8-player free-for-all, and I hope I get to see him again in the next tournament. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, that's it for me. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye!